Welcome to Spotlight New England. I'm one of your hosts, Audrey McClelland.
And I'm Ashley Erling.
Today's a big day.
It's a big day for us.
It's a big
day for you, but it's a big day for us.
It's a very big day.
Well, this is when they start. I mean, this is kind of the start of the deals, right? So everybody knows Amazon Prime Day.
Yes.
Which starts now and is a few days long.
It's going in, yeah.
But you were explaining it a little bit more to me. It's like basically all mass retailers have really big sales at this time of year.
They really do. And like this is the first time that Amazon has ever done it for 96 hours. So that means 96. And we're already into it. I was up literally, I was telling Ashley this morning, I got up at like 3 a.m. because I really just wanted to see.
This is just so like people understand. This is like your job.
Yeah.
Like,
yes,
this
it
is like,
yes.
You know, before your TV life.
Yeah. I was I still am like a blogger.
But that was like all you did.
That's all I did.
So now
that's
still
job.
What you do, but you also now do 2 shows.
And I do shows, and I try to work it around. So like I do a lot of work in the morning.
Yeah, you
and
get
then I come here
early.
And then I try to like populate stuff out throughout like the morning, so stuff will just like kind of like fire off throughout the day. And then when I go home, I start working again. But to your point, like right now, because I know like at least the people that I feel like follow me online, you know, you like to look good and feel good and have your kids feel good, but you don't want to spend a ton of money. Like there's no need to. And right now is traditionally the time when like back to school season starts July 15th. It's when it officially starts.
That's painful.
It's painful.
I know it's true. It's just painful to hear.
So now is when like the mass retailers, they are going after the consumer is being pulled in a million directions.
Yeah. Your eyes are like lighting up.
Well, Ashley started talking about it this morning and I said, Ash, I actually have like goosebumps. And I was like showing you, I was like actually excited because it really is. It's a great time to really stock up on things and just get what you need, but at a discount.
Right. And like you were saying earlier when we were talking about it, it's good for things you need. You don't go crazy
what you don't need.
Yes. It's not like you need to buy things just because they're on sale. But like if there are things you know you need, like for example, what I've been looking at is probably very
what have you been wanting?
Very different. I'm stocking up on like makeup and skincare and things like that because I purposely was actually waiting to see because I don't like the deals ahead of time somehow and I don't really know them. I just kind of wait and see what it is. So like I was waiting to see if some of the things that I order on repeat that's a great way to do it. So I've been kind of waiting, but I haven't actually purchased yet because now I'm like, okay, what do I actually need? Because
I know
you know right now there's like $300 worth of things in my cart.
I'm like my cart would make me look like I'm a millionaire.
Right, exactly, and it's like very fun to add to cart, and then I'm
love
like,
it.
Save for later. Right, and there were a couple of things for my honeymoon that I had actually put in my cart a while back.
Oh, perfect.
And some of them are on sale. So I'm like, okay, that's on sale, so I'll get that right now.
Yes.
That kind of thing. But makeup,
that's
for
very
sure.
smart.
And like, this is so stupid, but I keep thinking about this eyeliner that's in my cart right now.
Yeah, is it a good one?
Well, I haven't actually tried this brand. Well, I've tried the brand, but this specific one I hadn't tried before, so I'm kind of excited.
All right.
But it's like on a big discount right now. And
then you have to get
whatever it would normally be full price, I wouldn't pay that. I'm actually fairly stingy. But then like, you know,
it's smart to do that.
There are other brands that are trendy that you're like, would I pay full price for this? But if it's on sale right now, I'm like, let me see if it's worth the hype.
Absolutely. So like stuff like I was stocking, I did order some pajamas. That's like the one thing because I never buy myself pajamas, and I want like some nice matching sets, and they're like under like $15 right now. Like originally over like 30. So things like that, and then for my daughter, like back to school shopping for the boys, I'm kind of looking for things. But you know, the tough part is like yes, Amazon has their Prime Day, but then every other store,
right?
So like you know, Dick's Sporting Goods has a bunch of stuff on sale right now, and like Nike and Target and Walmart. So you know, you're kind of looking at everything, and it's crazy how they're all wanting your business.
Well, and it is overwhelming. It's
very overwhelming.
That's why it's like you kind of have to like take a moment and step back and be like, what do I actually want or need? Or like, do I want to treat myself to this one thing that I've been thinking about? Or are there certain things I need? Because you don't need everything.
And then the Nordstrom sale too.
Well, that one
just
gets
kind of
me.
got like that one just released.
That one's a tough one for me because it's always stuff that's on sale for like fall clothing.
Yes.
And you don't need it right now. And that's why it works for them because you don't need it, but it's on sale. It's like it goes back to full price.
Exactly.
And it's brand new stuff. It's not like end of season stuff they're trying to get rid of.
No, this is like brand new,
like,
out of the gate.
It's
They want your money. They're so good. These people that run these
having
companies,
a wedding this year
so
and
smart.
having that be like my focus is difficult when you also just want to buy cute clothes.
Oh, absolutely. And I keep trying to do the mantra: 3 kids in college, 3 kids in
right?
college,
It's
3
tough.
kids in college.
It's really
tough.
So
enjoy your shopping.
Happy
today.
shopping. Please report back to us. We're dying to know what you got.
And we have one of our favorites coming up next. This is a woman who's on the road show so much. You probably recognize her if you tune into the road show every week or every morning, hopefully. And on top of that, she's just an awesome person. So we can't wait to have her up next. So stick around. Spotlight New England. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Spotlight New England. So our next guest is a woman that we just love when she's on the road show. And beyond that, she has like the most incredible story of how she built Ends and Stems. We have the one and only Alison Mountford with us this morning. Hi, Alison.
Hey, ladies. Thanks
How
for
are
having
you?
me.
We're so excited to have you. Do you feel like uncomfortable because you're not in the kitchen?
No, this is my first time in like a podcasting studio, and it's awesome.
Isn't it really cool?
Very cool.
It's fun. We feel like people feel a little bit more at ease in here
Yes.
than our
Comfortable vibe.
traditional studio because it's more of just like a chat.
I
It's
do
very-
usually warm up the room with treats, though. So
You
there's
always
no,
do.
I
like,
know,
faces
that's
a
true.
little out of your
That's
element.
true.
You know, it's just me in here now. We just have to talk. You know,
But
there's no
that's
pie
good.
in the background. But
No, we love it. We're
Because-
so excited to chat with you.
You know, every time you come, you know, and we'll do a segment on the road show, we'll always kind of just like chit chat in the kitchen before like the segment comes on, or, you know, you may be a little bit early. And it's your story. I had no idea until maybe like a year ago that you were originally in San Francisco and that your journey brought you to Rhode Island due to COVID.
yes.
Now, was that, and I'd love you to share your story, but is that how Ends and Stems began?
So my journey brought me back to Rhode Island. I do, as a Rhode Islander.
You are
I have
a Rhode
to say,
Islander.
I
Yes,
was
that's
born
true.
and raised. I'm.
You're
Yes.
like, I'm a
I have
Rhode
to take that
Islander,
back.
okay?
You are.
I grew up in Situate, so very
It's
much
a big,
Rhode Islander.
big distinction.
And then I just wanted to see the West Coast. I had never been. I did not think I would stay for as long as I did, but I started a business. I went to culinary school and I started a personal chef meal delivery business. I catered and in various formats, but in total for almost 17 years.
And that was all in San Francisco.
All in San Francisco.
Wow.
And it's hard to build a business from scratch, like really hard.
Right.
So every year it would do better and I would get referrals. So it was just never on the table to leave.
Yeah.
So COVID was the first time that all of a sudden my entire book of catering business just stopped.
Yeah.
I mean, really early on, you know, they think maybe it originally landed in San
Oh,
Francisco.
that's right. That
or
ship that was coming in, right?
a lot of the people that I was catering for had customers that they were treating who were coming in from abroad. So everything just stopped.
Yeah.
So I really found myself with no work, no business, just on pause for a while. And my husband is also from Rhode Island. So all of our families were here. And it was the first time we felt really isolated in California.
Right.
Everyone loved to come visit us, right? Free place
Yeah.
San Francisco. But as the year went by, we just felt like we were in the wrong spot. So, and I had been catering for 17 years, so I was
Wow.
kind of ready to hang it up.
Okay.
But a few years before that was when I'd started Ends and Stems.
Gotcha.
So as a caterer, I would make, and we were a small team, there were maybe 4 or 5 of us. We would make beautiful food, handmade, from scratch, local vegetables. And often for corporate catering, it was really just to tick a box. So we'd have these beautiful food spreads, but nobody really wanted to eat. So we would then just throw everything away.
Yeah.
Or maybe donate it, depending on
Right.
the situation, if
Yeah.
that was possible. And it just
Painful.
It felt like it was painful.
Yeah.
There was a piece missing, and I thought, you know, I can't revolutionize the catering business so much just yet. But what if I could teach home cooks to reduce their food waste? And I read this article, a scientific study that had come out from the NRDC, who quantified for the first time the amount of food that goes to waste,
Yeah.
where it goes to waste, and the environmental impact and the financial impact of that.
Yeah.
And that's what inspired me to start Ends and Stems, which is really just an educational, you know, place for people to learn about reducing food waste. And it's led me to doing cool and fun things in food.
Isn't it a crazy story? You know, it's funny. We always talk to amazing women on the show, but like the story of where you kind of started and where we are presently, it's always so fascinating.
Yeah.
How it lands.
Well, and you are just a wealth of information when it comes to all things cooking. Is it important to you to kind of, you know, help spread that word about food waste because it happened to you and now you know, you can see in everyone's kitchen, in my kitchen, you know, I'm sure in your kitchen, like how much we kind of are. I even hate to say the word waste, but we're wasting.
I love that question because that's the piece that keeps me going. I've had jobs on the side. I'm currently employed full time, but I still keep up ends and stems because when I talk to people about their home kitchens or wasting food, somebody every day, I mean, you're on Instagram too, like every day somebody messages me and says, I made corn stock because you taught me I could use the cobs, or I saved my pie crust and made cookies at Thanksgiving. So knowing that people are really looking to learn this information, it's just very fulfilling. So that does keep me going. And I feel like any great, I work in marketing now too. So any great small business story starts with why this is personal to you, right? Why am I different than like, a big corporation talking about food waste? It's because I'm an individual. It's just me, right? Why do I buy whatever you put on Instagram for Christmas presents? Because I know you and I know you're personal and you've really vetted these things. Yep. So I do feel like the personal experience strengthens the story and when you can make a personal connection with somebody about what you want to teach them, it's just more fun to learn that way, and it's more fun for me to connect.
And I feel like your recipes are fairly approachable.
That's my hope,
because that can be intimidating too, and part of the waste and everything else that goes into it. But I know anytime we have you on the road show and you do something, I'm always like, oh wait, I could do that, and I love your substitutions as far as, and maybe you could talk a little bit more about this of like. In my head, I'll be like, okay, I wanted to make a recipe with this, this, and this. And then if I don't have this, I'm like, well, that's it. Then I'm not making this. But you will sub things I don't think of, or it just makes me feel like you can kind of try things and it's going to be okay.
It is going to be okay. That's the fun of cooking. I got into cooking when I was in high school because it was an extension of art. I always liked to make things and paint and build things. And cooking was just another medium, but then you got to eat it at the end. So it was really a creative outlet. So I think that makes a lot of sense to how I approach a recipe now. And that works really great for teaching about food waste. But I also did, when I was starting Ends and Stems, it was just kind of an Instagram feed when I started. But as I was building out the website, I put up, this was maybe 2017, I put up a poll on Facebook, and I had thousands of people answer my survey. And one of the main reasons people thought that they let food go to waste was that they didn't have everything they needed in the recipe. And they weren't confident that you could sub cilantro for parsley, or where could I sub russet potatoes for little marble red skin potatoes. So I do talk about that a lot. And I think that's a really important part of learning to open your fridge. What's in your fridge, right?
What's in your fridge?
You open your fridge, and then maybe you thought you needed asparagus to make this pasta dish, but you could totally use zucchini. So, and I also think that's why cooking's fun, right? Back to the art of it. So I do love, like, it makes me so happy that you've come away with that feeling, because I do want you to think that you can pull from your fridge and everything will be okay.
Yeah, it'll be okay.
It's going to be okay. And bring us through, because, Ashley and I, obviously our culinary skills are a lot different than yours. So bring us through one of those recipes. Like, does it start with like opening your fridge and actually seeing what you have there? Because every time you come, just reiterating what you said, you do pull together these unbelievable recipes that I never would have thought would have connected. So bring us through
anatomy of a recipe.
Right.
Like, do you need X, Y, Z to start, or does it not even matter?
Like, how does Alison begin?
Yeah. So I have a real story. Last Saturday, my family went over a new friend's house, and they were barbecuing, but we were supposed to bring a side. And it was kind of late notice on a Saturday. We're feeling lazy, and I opened the fridge, and I'm like, I can cook a side.
I can do this.
And I looked at my fridge and really thought, no, I can't. There's nothing. Like, it is so bare.
No,
there's nothing here. So I was looking for that first boulder, like something that had to be a side. Like, what could I do? And I found a bunch of asparagus in the back.
Okay.
Didn't know it was in there, and thought, yes, okay, asparagus. We can work with this.
Yeah.
But it was super hot. I didn't want to cook. They were grilling, so I didn't want to bring something to someone's house that they had to put on the grill.
Okay.
Yeah.
So just, thinking back, what else can I do with asparagus? A salad, right? So I looked up ideas, and then I came with shaved raw asparagus, and then it had to marinate in lemon.
Okay.
Didn't have lemon, but I had a lime, and I had a little white vinegar.
You are wild, though. See, I would have quit I didn't have the lemon.
But so the category is acidic, right? So the function of it is a little bit science.
It
The
is. I was going to
function
say
of
there
it,
is science involved,
right? Is to give the salad dressing feel of it. We're making a salad, so I knew that any citrus, and now you know that any citrus can basically be substituted.
Yes, but would it taste as good? Do you know what I'm saying?
Sometimes
This is where my brain goes. I'm like,
Allison's like,
sometimes it might not.
Yeah.
And I think if you remember that it's all going to be okay.
Yes.
That it is an art. And, people who test recipes and write recipes that are tested over and over again, that is a very specific old science where they will test, then they hire people to test. I love recipes like that as well. I have so much respect for that, but we can't cook like that every day.
Right,
and if you've already purchased something or you need something in a pinch, this sort of cooking from the hip flow is also okay.
Yeah.
So sometimes maybe I will make substitutions, like on my asparagus salad, which was also supposed to have walnuts, but it had pepitas on top.
Okay.
Maybe I'll go back and make that real recipe sometime, and then I would be able to answer the question.
So I'm dying to know how did it turn out?
It was delicious. So it
right?
had Parmesan, and then at the end I had lettuce that I had grown in the garden. So I put some lettuce on it.
So smart.
It was delicious. Some breadcrumbs on top.
Oh, that always helps too.
But to answer your question, I was looking for kind of the boulders. So we knew we would have asparagus. I knew I would put some kind of nut or something crispy and crunchy on it.
Yes.
And then with the Parmesan, I knew I needed kind of a third thing to round it out, give you something creamy.
Okay.
So there are a lot of infographics or charts online where they talk about, the anatomy of a grain bowl or a salad for lunch. And I think those can be a good start for a framework. Even my last run on the roadshow, we did, framework recipes.
Yeah. Oh, that's right.
We did flatbreads, but here are 6 different ways you could top flatbreads.
I love that.
That was a great one.
Fried rice and the ways
Sometimes
you could put in
just
it.
need that like inspiration too. So to see
Definitely.
you do that, you're like, oh my gosh, wait, I totally have that. Or, it's something you will grab when you're on your way home or whatever that you have everything else. Or
Definitely.
I just think
it's
sometimes
smart.
watching somebody do it, you're like, oh wait, okay,
Yeah.
And you inspire me too with the cereal. Like, I remember you came on the one time, everyone has the cereal boxes in their house, but it's always like, my kids will just like throw out when there's still a little bit. And remember Alison being like, no, you can actually take, that little bit that's left and do something with it.
We topped muffins with it. We did like a streusel with the cereal.
So smart.
And then I think a different time I did granola bars.
I was just going to say, you did like a granola
bars with the cereal. I get those a lot, like the potato chip ends or all of those bits. Like, how can you use those?
But that's waste, to your point. That was stuff that we were going to throw out that we could still get use out of.
Yep.
So smart.
I think to step back and talk about food waste for a second, I always try to make it really clear we're still going to waste food, all of us. I'm still going to let food go to waste.
Right.
It's always going to happen. But there's kind of what we're doing individually in our homes, which is where the majority of food is wasted, the money that we're wasting on that and the environmental impact of that. And then there's also the, industries, like what are hospitals wasting? What are universities wasting? What are restaurants wasting? And then even above all that, there's kind of the systems of our food system.
Yeah.
So you and I will never change the world. We'll never stop climate change by eating, the last 2 Cheerios in a bag. But by engaging in the conversation, by teaching our kids this, by that warm feeling of being scrappy and using everything we have, it does move the conversation towards having a better impact, a positive impact for the climate. But if you're like, I tried to make this asparagus salad with lime, and this is gross. I can't serve this.
Right. This is my fear. That's my fear.
If you're like, this is terrible, and then you have to throw it away, like it's also gonna be fine.
Right.
And I just applaud your attempt at trying it. And maybe next time it'll be better.
I think part of it now is that because I have soon to be stepkids, I am just dying to impress them, and I will do anything to buy their love. So I'm a little hesitant with trying recipes with them, not as much with myself or with Josh or whatever, but kids are so picky anyway that I'm like,
and no filter.
I'm like, no filter.
No filter.
No filter. I remember in the beginning of when we started dating, and I was like, I can make them food, and I would cry because they wouldn't eat normal things.
They're like, no.
My kids are not great eaters. I have to tell you, my 10-year-old is better, but my son is a challenge, and I always joke that I've like made this the thing that I talk about, and then the universe sent me my son.
They sent you the boy.
The universe was like, bet, let's see, let's
Make
see
him
with
eat.
this child. We jokingly call him an airitarian because
my gosh,
don't know what he's
that actually
eating.
makes me
love
feel
it.
really good.
My daughter's like that.
I always have
completely.
chicken nuggets in the freezer.
Always, but
That's
it's
like-
such
You're
a struggle.
good. You got it.
Chicken nuggets in the freezer.
But
that's
he'll
it.
help me cook.
Yeah.
Even if he won't eat it, he
He's
won't touch
into
it with a
it.
10-foot pole. He'll occasionally help me cook, and we can have these conversations.
And I'm
about
sure that
food.
he will eventually
I hope that's the
eat
plan.
more because you're introducing it to him.
Absolutely.
Set a calendar date
Right?
for
Let's
set
8
it.
years from now.
I can't wait to
Let's
hear.
reconvene
And
back at
wait
at
to
that
hear.
point.
I'll
I
let
love
you
it.
know how it goes. but-
Allison, tell our viewers too, where can they find you? Obviously, this conversation, we could talk for
I know
hours
that
about this.
Flew by.
But where can people find
follow
you?
you.
Instagram and TikTok. On TikTok, it's Chef Alison. Instagram is Ends and Stems.
That's right.
And everything else is connected from there. The recipes on my website and all of that.
I love it. Thanks for stopping by.
Thanks for having
We're
me.
gonna have to
such
have you
fun
back.
chat,
We're gonna have to
yeah.
have you back to talk more about not only food waste, but also just different ideas that you could do at home. Because even talking through them,
Yeah,
you don't just have to be in the kitchen. You can we can chit chat about it. So thanks for being with us.
Thank you.
Instagram, because we have more at Spotlight New England coming your way.
Welcome back to Spotlight New England. Well, America is celebrating a pretty big anniversary coming up.
That's right.
The 250th anniversary. And so our friends at Colette Travel, who we absolutely love, they came on the roadshow earlier and they were telling us about all of the trips that they have within the U.S. that you can do. I thought they sounded so cool. So
Yes.
here, take a listen to some of what they have going on right now.
Really exciting year for the country because we're celebrating the 250th anniversary of our country.
Right.
So we at Colette wanted to do something really special and create a tour that celebrates this anniversary. So it visits Boston, New York, Philadelphia, and Washington, D.C.
So all those just great hot spots that really did, again, like we said, help shape the history.
Exactly.
Oh,
yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
Because I feel like my kids haven't done a really deep dive. So I feel like it's a great tour for kids,
Yeah,
for
and
kids
it's your
and
perfect
families.
opportunity for multi-generational travel as well.
Oh, that's a great idea.
Yeah.
So explain to me what exactly a Colette tour does offer.
So basically, we put everything together for you, so you don't have to think of anything.
Yes.
So from start to finish, so from picking you up at your house, bringing you to the airport in private chauffeur service, all the way till once you get in destination, you've got an expert tour manager that's there, ready to meet you and take care of all of the details until you get back home, and then you've got that private chauffeur service again.
Which is amazing. I know that, my family has taken a Colette tour and you guys make it seamless and fun, and that's exactly what you want.
Yes, exactly.
So it's amazing. So talk to me about some of these tours that you offer in the U.S., because there are a bunch.
There are so many. We actually have 40 tours within the U.S., and they vary in terms of interest or focus theme. So we have tours that go from the Northeast, and then we also go to the Southeast. We've got cultural tours that explore art, history, music, and then we have tours that visit national parks. We go to Hawaii, Alaska, you name it, we do it.
I just thought all of those sounded so amazing. And like right within the US, they offer dozens of tours and they all sounded so cool. And, I know that you had mentioned that your family had done some of them
Yeah, my
with
mom and my
Colette,
dad,
which is just like so easy because they do everything for you.
Super seamless, and I do want to do one of the historical ones with my kids, just to learn like
Yeah.
Boston and Philadelphia, so much right there that we could
There's-
get to just so easily, just right in our own backyard.
Yeah,
It's awesome.
absolutely. A lot to look forward to in the coming year for the 250th anniversary.
Unbelievable.
Hopefully one of those tours as well. Thanks so much for joining us today on Spotlight New England, and we'll see you next time.